26th. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that this is a proposal. And the only reason I assure you that it's what you as a community want is what the mayor and the Department of Education wants to do. They want to do what's right. Now, I know. Sometimes it's a little difficult to understand, but let's hear them out. Let's move through the process. Let's come out on the 26th, and let's see what they have to say, and then you'll make a decision as a community as to whether you believe the school is a good idea or not. Gentlemen in the back, please.
My question is basically answered by your comment. My name is Kwesi, and I'm also a parent. You know, sir, I see you have a wedding ring on. Are you a parent, sir? Are you a parent?
I'm a teacher.
Are you a parent?
I
see you have a wedding
referendum on my family life.
No, sir.
I'm not a parent. I'm a teacher.
Let him finish. Because you're a teacher and you're a husband. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I'm a father. Yes, I walk in my house, the television is on, my son is watching something, I press info to see if it's PG-13, see if it's PG, if it's a G, if it's rated R. You understand? Because when a child is 13, they speak differently to a child who's 17. When a child is 7, they speak different to a child who's 17. You understand? A community, you understand, is a group of parents that come together and raise a group of kids. You know, long ago they say it takes a village to raise one child. You understand? You are not a parent, unfortunately. That's right. You understand what I mean? This community, these group of parents are saying that they don't want their kids who's 7 or 12 or 13, because when I was 17, 18, I was in the 12th grade. I graduated at 19 years old. The conversation that I had at 19, I never would consider having in the 6th grade, in the 7th grade, walk down the halls. The same way we take our kids on the television from the house, we want to do the same thing in the schools. It doesn't make sense for me to watch my son and say, don't watch this on TV, and then send him to a school where he's talking with 12-year-old kids in the hallway passing. It's just not right. But if you say on the 26th, you know, this is going to be decided with the community, with the parents. You understand what I mean? Like, I compliment you as a teacher, but my son's teachers doesn't raise my son 100%. It's up to me, the father, who's the parent, who everybody here are parents, to raise our kids.
Understood.
Mr. White, with all due respect, my name is Dr. Modi Shaik, and I'm a developmental and child psychologist. First point that I want to make is that I think it's grossly inappropriate to house, as Ms. Cicero said, K-1 with older children. It's not done typically. When they added PS207 and they made it a larger school, they divided the school for that such reason. It's the first point I want to make. Second thing I want to say is last year at the CDEC meeting, when it was first brought up, we were told by Sarah Berman that it would be in a freestanding building, not in one of our community schools. What happened? Can you answer that question?
Sure. Can I answer both?
Yes, and then I have a third, so I'm not going to sit down just yet.
You are obviously somebody who's licensed in the area of expertise, and so I'm certainly not meaning to come against it. All I can say is that as a teacher, I think you can look at that issue one of two ways. You can look at it, as psychologically inappropriate, or you can say that in many of the schools in the city, many of the best schools in the city, including in eastern Brooklyn and other parts of the city, that it actually serves the development of those youngsters quite well. And we know because parents continually want to send their kids to those schools, be they K-8s or be they shared space schools. 750 schools in New York City share space with another school. If we were to put a high school in this school building, it would be that way for those two schools as well. So we might just have a difference of opinion, but I understand your perspective. On the second question, the school is in the process of acquiring a facility for its long-term use that will be a private facility. That is why we are, as part of this proposal, proposing that they sign a memorandum of understanding, ensuring that after 2 years, the school is not in this facility anymore. So they are bound by that agreement.
But isn't it correct that the charter is reviewed every 5 years?
The difference is between whatever was said at the CEC meeting and what has been said now, is that they were unable to procure that private space beforehand. So the question for us is this. This is a public school system. These are members of the community who are tax-paying members of the community. We have a public resource, which is a public school building. And the question in front of us is, should we provide that public resource for these public school parents in this way or not, given that there was this operational lapse? And it was an operational lapse.
It was a big lapse. And I don't believe for 1 minute that it was parent-driven. I believe it was Michael Steinhardt-driven.
Yes, sir.
First, you just said that there's going to be a memorandum signed by this charter school, that in 2 years they're going to be out. If they do not have a building procured at that time, what are you going to do to those 300 or 600 students at that time? Kick them out on the street?
The school wouldn't go away.
Where would they go?
They would have to.
If they don't have a building by then, where will they
It would
go?
be small enough so that they could lease space in a building that is currently in existence. They can't do it now because that building hasn't come available. And we now have a significant period of time. We now have a significant period of time within which they could find it. If they don't acquire the space that they are looking to acquire over the course of the next year. Let's talk this through. If they don't acquire the space that they are looking to get, which is a purchase, not a lease, over the course of the next year, then we have time to say, hey, wait a minute, it is 15 months before you said you were going to be out, and you have yet to acquire that space. You had better now lease the space elsewhere necessary to serve your youngsters. Let me be very, very clear on this. This school is committing to not being here after 2 years, period.
You just said, wait a minute, hold on. You just said this has been a 3-year ongoing project or a plan that they've been working on. So in 3 years, they haven't found a location. In 2 years, they will. In 15 months, they're going to have a proposed location?
I don't think I said it was a 3-year.
Yes, you did. You said that there's been a proposal for 3 years.
What I said is that there will be 3 grade levels.
That's not what you said.
I don't know
All
how long
right, you know what? Let me bring a whole nother point. You just said that the student body of Marine Park Intermediate School has reduced over the past several years. You have 3 surrounding elementary schools. How's the student body in those schools?
Elementary schools are also dropping. The difference is that an elementary school, say like 194, is built with a capacity of only 600 students. And so while the actual percentage decline in an elementary school and the middle school is the same, in other words, they're going down at the same rate, a middle school building, because as you point to, so many different elementary schools feed into one middle school. A decline at the middle school level leaves significantly more space available in a middle school than would an elementary school have. Let's just again consider. I said that this school has 55 full-size classrooms and 37 groupings of kids. Well, that means that it has about 3 classrooms for every 2 groups of kids. Now you look at 194. They've got something like 23 rooms in their building. If they had 3 classrooms for every 2 sections of kids, they would have like 17 sections of kids, 16 sections of kids. Well, that would only leave like 5, 6 rooms available. So you're right that the percentage decline is the same. The space that leaves in the buildings, because of how small elementary school buildings are, is unfortunately, to your question, not the same.
Well, those rooms in Marine Park Intermediate School are taking up 2 rooms are the ceramics department. You have a couple rooms that are the music department, the rehearsal rooms. So where are all these children supposed to go and do what they want to do?
Last question, then we're going to come up here because there are other people who want to ask some questions.
Let me say unequivocally, if there are rooms with kilns, if there are rooms with band equipment, and so on, I've responded to a lot of your letters about the band issue in particular. Those rooms will absolutely not be taken by anybody for any purpose. And by any standard, by the way, by any standard, there is enough room in that building
This is a guarantee.
for us to have a small
This is a
elementary
guarantee.
school.
And